Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Before we get to the charts, I do want to invite you to join me for our PivotBoss monthly market outlook tomorrow, Wednesday, January 5th at 4 p.m. Central. The link is in the description below to join the event. This is a free event. We're going to be focusing a lot on cryptocurrencies this time around. We're going to be looking at major market structure levels, key ranges, key targets for upwards of 8 to 10 different cryptocurrencies. We're also going to look at various futures and stock charts as well of note for ideas heading into Q1 of this year. Please join me for this free event, again using the description below. Tomorrow, Wednesday, January 5th, 2022 at 4 p.m. Central. All right, let's take a look here at the ES in the daily time frame here. Again, you see right here previous quarter's high, and we're now testing prices above it. Previous session actually closed higher, still inside that 5-day narrow range. We've gotten a little bit of above it right now, but you can still see back here still compression overall. For the most part, the previous high and previous close of the quarter are very close to each other. Previous quarter's low way down here, midpoints here. So if we see some sort of significant rejection up here, there could be a snapback either to the monthly midpoint or to the quarterly midpoint. Both of those could be in play, especially if price takes out 47.50. So 47.50 was the key level to watch yesterday. We mentioned that any failure there could open up a return back down. That's still the case here today. For example, if we start to drop back below the previous session's high and develop a failed new high pattern, there could be a bearish outside date that could be in play. Now, whether that happens today, we'll see. But the previous session's high, previous quarter's high, and month's high, all very important right now. Keeping an eye on those levels here, which is basically right at around 4,800. This key range has finally gotten its 100% key range target proper now, 4805 quarter. That was reached here so far this morning. So that range has been completed. We could use one of these newer ranges right now, and that's basically what we're doing here off this high. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. You'll see the NQ here also finished the day strong yesterday. Again, still inside that 5-day narrow range, still compression happening. Overall, still the potential to rotate back down given the narrow range has formed at the highs here. This has been resistance for the better part of a couple of months. Supports back toward 15,600. So again, if there's a failure to hold 16.3, that will open it up to the downside. So 16.3 is very similar to that level in the ES 47.50. All right, one thing to keep an eye here is if there's a failure to hold above the previous session's high. We just saw a rejection of those levels here a couple hours ago. Higher high failure and a pullback. If there's a failure to hold that previous high, there could be a quick pullback to the midpoint. That midpoint right there could be a sticky level as a target. That's 16.4. Right now we're trading 16.520. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. So crude oil right now has shown quite a bit of strength overall. Strong low here with a good bounce into our target. Strong low here with a good bounce into our target. And now we've seen a little bit of a pullback here, and it's holding market structure. We also know the 76 level is a very important level as well. So watching to see how this develops here early on this month. But for the most part, we continue to be kind of in an upward swing. Previous high of the month is here. If you're looking at the previous quarter's range, we're right at the center. So here's the high, here's the low. The midpoint is basically this level right there. Pivot range mid, and close. So for the most part, we are right at the center of this large range, and we could continue to hold in this zone before we make a move to either one edge or the other. So keeping an eye on this one right now. Still also inside a relatively narrow range on a 5-day basis. and that could continue to be the case until we get some really good directional conviction. So still kind of building out at these highs. 60-minute chart very compressed, and that could continue to persist until we get some good clarity on a trending basis. Lastly, taking a look here, GC gold, big day down in the previous session, strong bearish outside day down today, a little bit of a bounce. Buy signal here developing based off of an extreme reversal idea, although not a signal you would want to keep an eye on or pay attention to as much right now, because it is right at the center of value. It's right at the center of this compression range, right at the center of all of this mess here. No real edge right now, and that's the thing. We could continue to jolt back and forth in here until we're ready to see expansion, and that may not be until we break through 1760 to the downside, or perhaps break back above 1840 to the upside. So until then, we could see more range-bound action between 1760 and 1840 until proven otherwise. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Please join me for our monthly market outlook tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. The link, again, in the description below. All right, good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.